I mean, I think as artists, we're influenced by what's happening on the outside. But for me, I'd been so steeped in history and the political context of the events that we are experiencing as a culture in Selma and 13th, that I did really want to take a breather and go design flowers that talked and moved and flew.
Action! Live on the set.
Gosh, one of the most impactful times, one of the most memorable times. I'm stalling. It's really difficult because Storm is in every frame of this film. She is aptly named. She is a force of nature. Imagine a little infant in your arms and you're so powerful even at that stage that your mother names you Storm. Okay, so it is an energy that comes from this girl. She was such a light. I think it would be seeing her fly because Never Ending Story was one of my favorite films, and you know, just all of the films where kids would fly and I would never see a girl like me. We were absent from that, and Storm was present for me and for all of the women before me and all the girls before me who never got a chance to do that. And by her doing it, it's now kind of a door broken. And it sounds like a slight thing for people who always see themselves centered or in a privileged position to be the leader in a movie, the hero of a movie. It's hard to explain how it feels to have Storm say to Levi, Meg say to Calvin, "Do you trust me? Do you trust me?" A little black girl to a Caucasian boy, and he says yes, and he follows her. I've never seen that before on film. And so those are transformative images, and to watch her through my camera, through my lens, doing those things so powerfully, so bravely, so boldly, so openly. Miss Ava, what do you want me to do? Storm, go do this. And she would go do it, and I don't think she understood how many decades and generations of women were also watching her do that, so full of joy to watch her do the things that have never been done before on camera. So it was every day, but some of those were the special moments.
Oh, so sweet. It would have to be when we were shooting our Essence cover, and Miss Oprah and I had an interview after, and we were sitting on the couch. Like, people say nice things about you, but when she told me that, I can't remember her exact words, but basically said that she had never met a young girl like me, and saying that as in how my mom raised me and all that we've been through, and how much faith we have, and it's not about my acting, and we could throw all of that in the trash, but just recognizing me, and that's always who I want to be and stay true to myself. So her recognizing that, and it just made me feel proud of myself, and having someone like her who is so wise and who is so smart and so beautiful and so talented and who has encountered tons and tons and tons of people, for her to say that about me really touched me and moved me.
I said the future's so bright for you, it burns my eyes. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I just said this to her before we came to this interview. I was saying to, I just said—
How did I get so lucky to be on her right?
I was just saying to her in a previous interview that I marveled every day, and this is true, of her ability to be so 1,000% present for all of us. And then when she'd say, "Bye, y'all," taking her wig off, I would think, "Bye, y'all." She's getting in a car and she's going home to a completely different life where children are waiting for her to appear in the door as their mom, not as Reese Witherspoon, the famous Academy Award-winning actress, not as the producer of Big Little Lies, and not as the woman who's been hanging out on the wires with us all day, but that she, and then you think, oh yeah, that's right, she has another whole life. And then she'd come in the morning, "Morning, y'all," and just be 1,000% there for us. And I think, oh, she just left her family. She just left this whole other life. I think that mothering is the most sacred job on earth. It's a holy thing when you do it well. And I just have nothing but praise for the way you do both.
Thank you so much.
Really, truly.
Now I'm gonna cry.
No, truly.
True.
Well, I have the privilege of talking about Mindy, who is has always been one of my favorite people, and I've known her a little bit before the movie, and we've been friends. But what I thought was particularly impressive about Mindy was this part that she had to play, and it was really hard. And I remember reading the script and thinking, I couldn't do that. She speaks in famous quotes. This is one of the funniest women in the world, honestly. If you go to lunch with her, she will crack you up. And she writes the best books. And she's also got this brilliant mind that's exploding with ideas and funny little bon mots all day and on Twitter. And she can't say any of them. She can literally just express Rumi quotes, Outcast quotes. And it's brilliant too, but she brought her beautiful joy and energy to those beautiful words. And it's because I always notice too, Mindy always brings up the writer, Jennifer Lee or Madeline L'Engle. Out of all of us, she brings them up the most because she has such respect for people who take the time to write the words that we say and give us the stories that we all read. So the fact that she did that with joy and compassion and humor and side-eye, lots of side-eye, was amazing. And I was just so in awe of you playing that part.
Thank you. It was so, it's, you know, the people who I quote are so important to communities, to countries. People have these quotes tattooed on them. Like, these are some really important people. And so you don't want to mess up or ad-lib Rumi. The quotes, you know, Jennifer Lee and Ava did such a brilliant thing of saying, okay, well, you know, let's get, as the, you know, the three missuses were first imagined as three little old white ladies, and they were completely reimagined for this, and so were the quotes. So that was great, and I didn't want to screw that up. But as I said, I think that's why I was so chatty in the trailer, because I had to suppress. I had to suppress so much of this. So
That makes sense.
It doesn't.
That does make sense.
Yeah, you couldn't say any of it on
I
screen.
could just say blah, Oprah, Pinkberry, blah. So I have the very daunting task of discussing Ava, and I've talked a lot about Ava in the past couple months as the press has. But I want to say something very specific, which was, besides being the engineer of everything and having it be so born from love, and every day she says this thing, which is so accurate, which is that there's love in every frame of this movie, and it's her love, and she made us fall in love with it by doing it. There's also her love, but also her blood, her sweat, and her tears in this movie, because it is back-breaking work. And I remember this one instance and tenacity. There's one instance we were all doing, the movie has a lot of green screen, and there's a lot of talking to people at angles. You know, Oprah's 100 feet tall, and we had to talk to her. And it was I think probably 11:30 at night or after night, and we had to sit on stools of different heights when Oprah had to talk down to us. And this is not one of these nights where you're like on and cheerful. There is, the pizza came hours ago. The next meal is not for 3 hours. And not only do we have to sit here and act ourselves, but we'd have to know where we are in space and time, what planet we're on. Are we in a good mood or a bad mood? What just happened before? And to have Ava come out and with the same energy that she had at 7:30 in the morning to explain everything to us and put it in context, not get angry with us for lack of focus, but because there's love in every frame. She just loved it. It mattered to her, and she's just, you know, the same person at 2 o'clock in the morning as she is at 7:30 in the morning. The way that the movie was born of love and from a book that was so loved, written by a woman, starring about a young girl, and the way that it was reinterpreted by Ava. I'm so relieved, actually, to have something like this on coming out in spring this year.